everybody, I hope you've been enjoying the recipes. Today we're gonna make some cheesecake. I'm gonna make two. I'm gonna make one that's going to be what I call the triple chocolate orange cheesecake. Hopefully if you try it at home you'll know what I'm talking about. And why is it a triple chocolate? Because it's got the chocolate, it's got the bottom crust, which is made from chocolate wafers. The sides are going to be a regular graham cracker crust. And where's the triple chocolate on that? I'm going to make a ganache, which is a chocolatey, liquidy that goes on top. You'll see. And then I'm going to make a strawberry cheesecake. I have the fresh strawberries here. I'm going to mix them with cinnamon, brown sugar, butter of course, and a little bit of rum. Okay, it's now for my drinking. So these are my ingredients. This is for the strawberries. Once I cook them with sugar. So we got sugar, heavy cream, that's going to be for the ganache. Brown sugar, that's going to be for the strawberries. I have 3 eggs, actually 6 eggs. The cream cheese, of course. This is a secret. I actually add less sugar. Recipe asks for about a cup. I'm doubling everything because I'm making 2 cheesecakes. So instead of 1 cup, I usually make 2 of sugar, but I'm actually going to use only 1.5 or 1 1/3 because I'm going to be adding lechera to the filling. It asks for 1 cup of sour cream. I'm adding 2. Again, I'm doubling everything. The eggs ask for 3. I'm doing 6. Let me see what else. I think that's about it. So let's get started. The first thing we gotta do is we gotta do the crust. So we gotta melt the butter and do all that. Okay, so here we have the crumbs. Again, the wafers. And I added the butter. Okay, so you want it to be moist. Ooh, I could smell it already. I'm not big on dessert in terms of making it. Obviously, I'm big on dessert and eating them, but not in making them. However, I do make a couple of things, and this is one of them. So you press it, okay? Now, you may notice aluminum foil underneath. You don't need it now, but you will. I just wanted to show it to you. Once it starts baking, you're gonna need to put it underneath because I like to bake it in a water container. Why? It'll create a better cheesecake without as many cracks. So it helps, and it'll bake all throughout. It takes a little bit longer to bake when you do that, but it's better. Although in this one, because of the ganache, if it has a couple of cracks, you won't see them because I'm going to shower this cheesecake with chocolate. This chocolate cheesecake is gonna have a chocolate shower. You will see in a bit. Okay, hopefully you can see. Okay, so now I'm going to bake it for about 10-15 minutes, about 350 degrees. Okay, and I'm going to now add the strawberry cheesecake. Okay, so I'm gonna put the crumbs. Please do not buy one of those already made crumbs. I mean, it's okay, but look, you're doing it from scratch. So why are you gonna cheat? Okay, so here we have. Okay, so this one's gonna need more butter because I'm going to run the crust up. This one I don't, okay, but this one I will. So I'll catch you in a minute. Okay, so here we go. We got the first one. This one's gonna be for the strawberry, and this one's gonna be for the triple chocolate orange cheesecake. Okay, so I'm gonna put them in the oven for, again, about 10 minutes or so, 350 degrees, just so they can form, and that way I don't have to worry about crumbs. Okay, so now it's time to saute or cook the strawberries. This is actually the same recipe that I use for my bananas foster. That's butter, you can see, brown sugar, and something that I'm going to try for the first time is cream, heavy cream, and then you add the strawberries. After they've cooked for a little bit, you add the rum. Gotta be careful. I'll try to be careful. If I burn this kitchen, don't worry, I can't go anywhere. So it's time for the brown sugar. Okay, let's go ahead and add that to it. It's about a little bit less than a cup. Now I've been trying to make I've been thinking about making a bananas foster cheesecake, but perhaps I'll try it, see how it goes, and then I'll make a recipe out of it. This is just something that I figure if I can do it with bananas, why not strawberries? I've done it before with apples, and then I've created an apple pie cheesecake. I put the apples, a lot cinnamon, just like an apple pie. But that's what I put at the bottom of the pan on the crust, and then add the filling of the cheesecake. And it's come out actually pretty good. I would need a little bit of apple juice to add a little more flavor to it. Okay, so now I'm going to add about a cup of cream. Okay, so now I can add the strawberries. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a sort of a liquid, not make them so solid, make them, cook them in this, because I'm going to mix a little bit of this onto the cheesecake. So that way it swirls all throughout the cheesecake and you get a little bit of flavor, of strawberry flavor within the filling, and also I'll add some strawberries at the top. If you don't have fresh strawberries, I've done this with frozen strawberries, so that should work okay. Okay, so I'm adding it here. It's going to be mixing a little bit. Okay, just leave it alone for a bit. And let's check on the strawberries. What I may do is actually add a little bit of more sugar, but I'm waiting for these strawberries to basically melt, so that way they release all their sugars, all the juices. I may add a little bit more of strawberries, this time frozen. I don't have any more, just to really accentuate the strawberry flavor. I can still taste the alcohol, which is not a good thing. I should have burned a little bit more. I thought I did. So let's let it simmer. Okay. In the meantime, let's see what it's doing. You can tell it's beginning to melt. Okay, so here we go. Chocolate is almost melted. So probably a couple more minutes, and then I gotta set it aside so it cools off, and then I can use it with a cheesecake filling. Now we're gonna make the filling. Okay, so here we go. Cream cheese. Okay, so we've mixed it enough. So now I'm going to add the sugar little by little. Again, because I'm making 2 cheesecakes, this calls for 2 cups, but I'm not. I think I may even do 1 1/4, just because to cut down on the sugar. Why am I cutting down on the sugar? Because I'm adding more sugar. I know it doesn't make sense, but once you taste it, you will see. And if you like lechera, that's what I use instead of the full sugar. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to add the sour cream. I have not added. How much? Two cups. If you were making one, then it would be one cup. Once the sour cream is mixing, make sure that you scrape all the way to the bottom. Okay. Otherwise, you'll have chunks of just with a cream cheese and sugar on top. So you want to go all the way deep. Okay, so now it's time for the lechera. Okay, how much? About a third of this. Looking good. Now all we need is the eggs. Now the eggs, I'm going to do them one at a time. You can't do them all at once. So before I do that, let me scrape the bottom. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. And mix it in. There we go. Have to break the yolk. And again, with this one, just one cheesecake, then it will be three eggs. But because it's not, it's actually 2, we're adding 3 more, so 6 eggs. Okay, so now I got all the eggs. Yes, I added 1 more because I only had 5. So I added 6 eggs. So now the vanilla extract, it's about 2 teaspoons or so that you want to add here. I don't have much. Okay. So it's all gone here. So now just let it mix, scrape the bottom. Okay, so the filling is done. Now, I have this, okay, sorry, I have this and the chocolate, which I'm going to do for one cheesecake, and then I have the strawberries for the other one. So this is when I separate the 2 batches. The basics are the same for both, and this is when you want to add flavors or apple, like I use apple pie. Or you want that white chocolate raspberry, Cheesecake Factory deal. This is where you would separate the different batches. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put one here, which is gonna be the one for the strawberries, and then the one I'm gonna leave here is gonna be for the chocolate. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. Here's the chocolate. So I'm gonna try to mix it. Okay. Sometimes I overdo it with the chocolate, but then again, is there such a thing as overdoing it with the chocolate? Okay, so we got chocolate, right, on this, chocolate on the crust, and then chocolate on the bath of chocolate, the ganache. Now you're asking, where does the orange go in here? Well, this is what you do. You wash your orange and you do this. Zest of the orange will give it that nice orangey flavor. This is something that I just thought, hey, why not? I didn't think about lemon. I don't know, lemon and chocolate. But I like during the holidays, there's a chocolate ball that it's in the shape of an orange, and you break it. And when you eat it, it does have hints of orange. So I thought, hey, why not? So this is what I'm doing now to add a little bit of orange. So when you take a bite of the cheesecake, you'll taste the orange, I hope. Another thing that I've been thinking about is adding, little pepper, red pepper, or a little bit of spiciness to it, but not yet. I need to make smaller cheesecakes, a smaller batch, and then try different flavors. And again, I'm not a baker. I'm not, I don't make desserts. Although my family, I come from a long line of bakers. Maybe that's why I have the body of a baker, one who eats a lot of bread. But once in a while, I like to try recipes. Now I take recipes from everywhere and I mix them and I add this, add that, and see how they taste, and usually they come out okay. The key of cooking is not being afraid. Use your imagination, Use your imagination. I think that's it. And of course, always cook with a little bit of love, and that's probably the best ingredient you can add. So I actually added about half, a little more than half of another orange, because I really like that orange flavor that says to it. So now I'm going to pour the batter or the filling. Okay, so again, make sure that you scrape every part of the bottom. Okay. Ooh, see, there's a little bit of there that did not mix well. Now, one thing I forgot to tell you is when you put the chocolate crust, make sure that you add a little bit of butter to the sides. Okay. Now, depending on the oven that you have, I like to bake this at about 325 to 350. My oven, for some reason, it takes a little bit longer. So it's supposed to be about an hour, but on mine it takes sometimes an hour and a half. So I have to be checking it. How do you know when it's done? You'll see at the top when it's done, and I'll show you with a knife. And when you have something like this is when you call your children to take care of this, to clean this, along with the dishes. Okay, so here we go. Now what I've done is in this tray, I don't bake it on the actual tray, but I put a cookie sheet filled with water, and that's why I like to use the aluminum paper, so that way the water doesn't leak into the cheesecake. So I'm gonna put it right here. I don't know if you can tell, but there's water in there. So I'm going to bake it for about an hour or so. Well, let's see what happens, and then I'll come and test it. Once I test it, then I'll go ahead and check with a knife to see the center if it's still moist. If it's moist, then it's not good yet. Okay, so we're ready for the last step. Okay, so we got about a tablespoon or so of butter, and I'm gonna add about a half cup of heavy cream. And what we're doing right now is we're gonna make the ganache. That's the last third chocolate part of the triple chocolate cheesecake. So I'm gonna go ahead and just let it come to close to a boil, and then you're gonna take it out, and you're gonna pour that onto about, I would say about half a cup of chocolate chips, and that's gonna melt it. Let me show you what the cheesecake looks like now. It's been in the fridge for about, I would say about 9 hours or so. So what you want to do is you're going to take a knife and you're going to run that, okay, all along the edges of the knife of the cheesecake. So when you loosen it, it comes off easily. Okay, so now that it's ready to boil, I'm gonna take it out. I'm going to pour that over the chocolate. Okay, and now just let it do its thing. If you need to add a little bit more chocolate, make it or less. If you put too much chocolate, you can add a little more cream, or just if you like how thick it is, then you leave it alone. If you don't, you add more cream or more chocolate. It all depends. As you can see, it's getting a consistency that I like. So now I can bring this. There you go. Let's open it up. There we go. And now we get to pour this. And after this, I'm going to let it cool a little bit. It'll harden just a little, but just to make sure, I'm gonna put it in the fridge for maybe another hour, and then it's gonna disappear because my family is gonna look at it and it's not gonna last. I would take it to your house, but we can't leave our houses, so we gotta stay indoors, or actually in our house, not necessarily indoors. Each cheesecake that I make is a little bit different. This one I didn't do the crust all the way up. I just did the bottom. And of course you can top this even more with chopped almonds if you prefer. And there you go. Hopefully you'll try it at home and let me know how it comes out, and then you'll change the recipe a bit. Hope you enjoyed it.